Hi, my name is Ryan, and this is a devlog for my current game in development called Dungeon Sandbox. Stay to the end for a special announcement. 2 weeks ago, I got a lot of feedback from fellow developers. And one of the issues they commented about was the AI was not very challenging. I currently only have 2 enemies in the game because I have been testing different systems for the player and AI. I've tested 3 systems so far: Invector, GameKit Controller, and Game Creator. I like Invector. It had a lot of options and the characters were easy to set up. But I had a lot of issues getting it to work correctly. I could definitely see myself using this in the future, but it wasn't a good fit for this game. So I moved on to GameKit Controller. It's really an amazing character controller. It does everything, but its versatility was also its downfall. There are hundreds of scripts. The player is so complex. It would take weeks to understand and modify it to work. And I just didn't have time. So I moved on. Next, I moved on to Game Creator. I previously made a puzzle point-and-click game with this. Nothing I release, just a little hobby project. Game Creator is great. My favorite thing about it is how fast you can create game logic. But previously working with this, it can get complex fast and turn into spaghetti. So I expected it to fail and get to the point where it wasn't worth the time, and I'd probably have to figure something else out. But it never did. I've been using it for about a month and haven't had a problem I couldn't figure out. So I'm going to stick with it. Now just to clarify, I don't think Invector or GameKit Controller are bad assets by any means. They just didn't fit what I was going for. 2 weeks ago, during the Unity sale, I purchased the behavior module, and after a couple tutorials, I got the hang of it. But I quickly ran into an issue testing one of the levels that has over 30 enemies. The FPS dropped from 150 to 6, so I was going to have to figure out how to optimize this. So I started with basic optimization, being more aggressive with LODs, getting rid of unnecessary meshes, disabling objects that weren't seen by the camera, and there was a setting on the behavior graph, how often to run the behavior, so I set this to every second instead of every frame. I also added a condition to the behavior graph. If the enemy is more than 50 units away from the player, it does nothing. This made a huge difference in performance. So enemies across the dungeon aren't trying to pathfind. Now when I test the game, there's no spikes and the frame rate is steady. Crisis averted. Now let's get back to the AI. So I started setting up characters with different abilities. This was really fun because you can add different behaviors depending on the type of character. Like the apprentice character is not very good at magic, so sometimes he fails and hits himself. I also set up 2 bosses, the Chief and the Master Elf. The Chief is very strong in combat, and the Master Elf is a Master Magician, which has about 5 different spells he can use. So what now? This week I'm going to work on getting some more weapons into the game, and polishing some of the icons. Then the alpha version will be done, which is amazing because I've been working towards this for months, and now it's time to move the project to beta. So you're probably wondering, why is the game moving to beta and what's going to happen now? I've always liked games that had a large community to give feedback. So from the beginning of this project, I wanted to build a community that was passionate about these types of games and would help me make this an amazing game. So I'll be putting out the game on itch.io 100% free to play. I ask that you play the game and give me feedback on my Discord. My Discord is linked in the description. I'll put another video out when the game is live, and I'll be posting it to my Discord and Facebook. And always, thanks for watching.